Hi, this is Shara with Psychic Mist. Today I want to talk to you about psychic abilities. One of my clients had asked me how she could go about making her psychic abilities stronger. She's been practicing for several years, but she says that she feels that she's not getting any further in her abilities, making them stronger and being more accurate, things like that. So let's talk about that today. So there are a few very important points that I want to talk to you about today. One of the most important things, if you want to have very strong and powerful psychic abilities, is to build yourself a strong, solid foundation. So new aspiring psychics and even psychics that have been doing things for a while, they're real excited to jump in there and start doing readings or start making predictions, start remote viewing, and having out-of-body experiences and really cool things like that. And I certainly get it, I understand, but they don't want to take the time out for the necessary practice and the time that is needed to build a new skill. I like to use the analogy of an ice skater. If you've never been on the ice before and you put ice skates on, that could be something. You're not going to just step on the ice and do a triple axel. No, you probably step on the ice and just try to keep yourself standing and balanced. And first you have to learn how to skate, and then you have to learn how to do, just some simple things, and little by little you build up to spins and jumps, and you have your single axel, your double axel, your triple axel. And how many years do you think that these ice skaters practice, and how much time do you think they put in order to get that triple axel? Psychic abilities kind of works in the same way. You're learning a new skill, so you have to have some time and patience to put into it. And it's just like any other skill. What you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So if you want to be a really good psychic, you want to be a very powerful psychic with wonderful abilities, then you need to build a solid and strong foundation. That is paramount. I can't express the importance of a strong and solid foundation. Now, how do you do that? Well, you kind of have to learn to be a little bit of a scientist. You need to learn a lot about energy, and their energy is in so many different forms. A psychic works with different kinds of energy, so you need to become very, very sensitive to that kind of energy, and that's where psychic lessons comes in handy. Not only do you have to learn how to be sensitive to that energy, you also need to be able to tell the differences between different kinds of energy, and you also need to learn how to manipulate that energy. So once you start talking about energy and learning how to recognize it and manipulate it, you have to absolutely must learn psychic protection, because once a psychic starts on their journey and their path to work with energies, and spirits are all energies, using psychic energy is energy. So you definitely need to learn how to protect yourself, because we have what's called a beacon, and this beacon of light is something that we emit from our own bodies, our spiritual bodies, and that goes out into the astral and spiritual planes. That attracts other entities, good and bad. And if you're not protected, you're leaving yourself wide open for different kinds of attacks. So I have this annoying piece of hair right here. I need to move that. Okay, now we can move on. So you need to learn at least basic psychic protection. And as you build your skills and get into higher levels of psychic awareness and abilities, then you need to learn more advanced psychic protection. You should definitely use psychic protection even if you're just doing something as simple as a meditation. And while we're on the subject of meditation, this is the secret to becoming a very powerful psychic, a very powerful witch or sorceress or sorcerer, and also for all your paranormal work. The secret is meditation. I feel that many people really dread meditation. They feel like it's a chore. They feel like it's something like, oh my God, I don't have time to do that. I can't sit still. I can't, just empty my mind. I have too much to do. And these things are all true for everybody every day. But once you really learn what you can accomplish in meditation, you won't feel that way anymore. You can do things that you never thought possible, that you never ever dreamt was even a possibility. And that is why I have so much success in the things that I do. And you can too. Something else that I want to mention here too is that the kind of meditation that you will want to be doing to make yourself this very powerful psychic and powerful supernatural being isn't what all these gurus and mages go around telling you. It's a lot different than that. And yes, it still is a skill. Yes, it still will take your time and your energy and your effort, but anything worth doing, anything that you really want is going to be that way. There's no shortcuts. And last but not least is that you definitely need to know where your psychic information is coming from. And what I mean by where, everybody gets their psychic information from a different way, a different method. But no matter if you're clairvoyant or clairaudient or you're doing card readings or you're using a pendulum, so it doesn't matter what way you're doing something, you are still in contact with some type of energy, and usually that means an entity. So you need to know what energy you're dealing with, what entity you're dealing with, and you need to be able to trust this energy and entity. You could be working with an unsavory entity that is it's very easy for them to pose as a good entity. So you really need to know where your information is coming from. You need to form a bond with a entity that you can trust, like your spirit guide or an angel or a deity. But you need to know this entity quite well. You need to be able to decipher who they are from other spirits, because you are gaining your information, whether you feel like you are or not, you are getting your information from the spirit world, and you want to be safe and careful about that. So if you don't know how to make that connection, that's something that you have to learn to do, because it's very important, and that could take quite some time before you form that trust and know that the entity is who they really say they are. Another reason that you need to make a strong connection and a bond with a particular entity of your choice is because this entity will help your readings, whatever divination type you're using and choose to use. They really help you to make that reading stronger, because you can't just buy a deck of cards and put them down and look at the meanings and say, okay, this is what it means. A lot of times I do readings and it has nothing to do with what the words say on these cards. The whole point here with this is that you need to be able to hear or sense, use one of your psychic senses or more than one of them, to listen, or like I said, whatever sense you use, to this entity, because they can dig into the future, they can dig into the past, they can dig into places you never even thought existed, and they can send that information to you. This could just be a thought that pops into your head. It could, like I said, it could be where you can hear, which is clairaudient, or where you could see, which is clairvoyant, or even a smell, clairalience. There's so many different ways they can pass this information on to you. So it's really important to make this bond, take the time, do all your protection. Employing all these things that I've spoken about with you today is what will really make you one very, very powerful psychic, and it will really stand out in the paranormal field. Doesn't matter what type of paranormal endeavor you are doing, it will just make you that a powerful being. It really makes a big difference. So you need to have all of these things all together in order to really make a big difference in how strong or weak your psychic abilities are going to be. This is Shar with Psychic Mist. See you next time.